Alan Waring could have been more ambitious. I'll tell you for why, because she said rat. I can't do it because I had better technique then. Control. And she said this thing called rat. And I had a rat. It was called Atchie, short for Atchipong. He was a footballer in Fulham Football Club. And I said, you know what, I should have a rat on my shoulder. I do have a rat now, actually. He's called Monkey, but we won't go into that. Rats are great. Rats are really intelligent, and I get on with them. And I wanted him on my shoulder, and the director was worried. They needn't have been. Oh, well, we need 2 rats. He was even into health and safety then. We'll need 2 rats, and then if we shoot it and we lose it. If he'd been a more inventive director, you've got an actress willing to work with a rat? Come on! How many of them are around? I don't know many actresses who not only would work with a rat, but volunteer and will bring their pet rat in for the show. I think Control would definitely have had a pet rat. She would have crawled, and in fact, I'll tell you the story. We've just taken my pet rat in a little carry cot. Not carry cot, carry stage. Carry cage, you can tell I'm not a grandmother, but need to be. Carry cage in the back of the car. We've never taken it to Suffolk before because normally 1 or 2 of us have, but because we're both going to be down in Suffolk, we thought we can't leave her on her own. My daughter's always off abroad. Anyway, so we're driving down the A12. You'll like this. He says to me, Shah, look. I'm going, what? And the rat, she's come out of the gate, she's sitting on top of his head. He said, I don't want to disturb you because I know you're reading the paper, but do you think you could put her back? I don't know how legal this is. And she's sort of sniffing around his head, so I put her back. Anyway, so Alan Waring, I think that would have, if I'd been the director and an actress had said that, just also for the part, I think for the part of Control, and it'd be so interesting as a viewer, wouldn't it? I would for me, seeing, they say never work with animals, but I don't agree if you get it, and it would have been so part of the character. So yeah, that was my biggest disappointment, that he wouldn't let me work with a rat. But one of my best memories is when I had to jump through the window. And the stuntmen padded me up. Oh, that was fun. They showed me how not to get glass in my face. And that was the biggest thrill. Because you remember she jumps through a window, didn't she? It's supposed to be 3 floors up, and of course it's not. It's a big mattress. We did a couple of takes on that. Oh, it was so exciting. One of the best jobs I've ever done. And I'll tell you something else. So there we are doing Doctor Who. There's me, Michael Cotton, all of them, you know they all are. And we go up to this Acton Hilton I'm telling you about, up into the canteen. Where all the actors are there, you know. Albert Finney was known once to walk around in a silver lurex suit when he was out of work to get noticed, those sort of things. It worked, didn't it? God, we all know who he is, it certainly worked. And I remember being up there and I'm trying to think of his name. Married to Polly Hemingway, Roy Marsden. Tall, you all know Roy Marsden, he played P.D. James. And he was cock-a-hoop because he was doing a Greek tragedy called, it wasn't the Bacchae, Medea or one of those. They were doing a studio Greek tragedy. And we were all eating their lunch and being very, very quiet. And we were all like, criminal reprobate. We were laughing and having, you know, and talking about this, that, and the other. And we were being rather sniffy, saying, and so what show are you doing? We went, Doctor Who, and I wouldn't swap places with you, or the tea in China, with your Greek tragedy, because I've always hated, the only Greek tragedy I like is Aphrodite, directed by Woody Allen, and that makes me laugh, because it's meant to. That's the only Greek tragedy I like. So the memories of Doctor Who, I've been so, I felt so privileged to be doing that, and not having to do Medea, and all that heart-wrenching, boring, you know, I mean, Greek tragedy is not boring, but in its own place. It still wouldn't be nearly as much fun as Doctor Who. Okay. Nowhere near.
Okay, I'm going to let the audience loose on you now.
Oh, all right then.
Does anybody have any questions?
And if it's about rats, I'm happy to answer that as well. Yeah, I thought you might.
It's about rats.
Oh.
She starts off quite rough and ready and unevolved, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. That's why I wanted the rat.
Yeah.
The white rat wouldn't have been right, but I would have dyed her brown with the vegetable dyes. I would have gone for it. She wouldn't have minded. She'd have licked it off. They're very clean. She'd have had a brown tongue though. Sorry. Sorry.
But what about when she became a ladylike? She didn't have a rat then. Would the rat evolve too?
Oh, interesting, yeah. So the rat would have to become a Pekingese, you mean?
Yeah. Or Pomeranians, you know.
Yeah, you see, you should have written it. Or directed it.
Oh, definitely.
You see what I mean? That would have been in, I would have liked that. You see, that's it. That's what we needed, a little bit more involvement. Because I don't know what it's like now, but well, I'm sure it's the same. Because Russell T Davies writes it. Other people write it now, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
But yeah, writers have got a lot of power.
Mr. McCoy has said that as well about directors, that sometimes they weren't quite as involved as they possibly could have been.
No, not as imaginative. I mean, what you just said, I'd go along with that.
Yeah.
We get a handler in, and we get a small animal that you could imagine that the rat had evolved from. I think that would be great. And then the audience can pick up on that, you see.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
So I was 13 when I first watched Ghostlight.
And you've recovered from that, have you?
Well, I didn't really understand it all.
No, neither did
I
I.
did, and then I rewatched it and thought, no.
So don't ask me to explain it.
No, well, that's the thing. It's a 13-year-old was brilliant. But how did that experience compare to your other experiences in other shows?
It doesn't. Doctor Who's up there. It's up there. Because it's just not like any other show, is it? It's not like any other show. I mean, in the first episode, I was an eye. You only saw my eye peeking through that dungeon. Not many chances you get to act with just your one eye.
Didn't get typecast though.
No, luckily, the next part I was allowed to have two. No, I'm not just saying that because you're here because you're at a Doctor Who convention. Why do you think I'm here? There are other things I'm asked to go for, and I might go, I might not. But I just think Doctor Who was great, and I just think it's now. But none of you are as old as me, because before Doctor Who, I remember Quatermass. Oh, you remember it because my cousin sitting there. She was cruel. She said it was me. I say it was her. We used to open my brother's eyelids and make him watch it. My mum and dad had gone out tangoing like they do up north. Actually, they were the champions, but we won't go into that because we don't brag in Yorkshire. We leave that to the Lancashire. But seriously, Quatermass was scary, and that was a precursor to Doctor Who, don't you think? It was all done in the studio. Well, I don't know if I'd be scared now, but we certainly scared them when we were young.
There was a remake a couple of years ago.
Was there?
With David Tennant and...
What, of Quatermass?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Mark Gatiss as well.
I should have made my brother watch that, shouldn't I? Or he could have made me and got his own back.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You see, you guys are a mine of information. I love it when I do these autographs, so you're telling me what I've done and what episode I was in Professionals, and I can only remember sitting in the makeup van thinking, my God, Martin Shaw's wrists are small.